Hello! Today we will visit the open space of the library of the Public University of Navarre. This space is fit out for the students as an autonomous working zone and for creation and ideation of projects. It has an information point that can be consulted at any time. In this video, we will give you some suggestions so you can start to solder. You can ask for these soldering suitcases at the reception of the open space. They are equipped with the basic material, the welder, its support, a sponge, and maybe some extra soldering tin. When connected, we will see a red light that indicates that it is being heated up. And we will adjust the working temperature at 360 degrees. Depending on the model, we will have a roulette or some buttons. We will water the sponge that will serve us for cleaning the tip. We must clean it like this, always dragging the welder. We will see that all the soldering irons are different. Some tips might be in bad state. We can find them bent, dirty, burned, or even broken. In order to avoid this, we have to clean well the tip and add a bit of tin. This is the typical rookie error, so the next time you are going to solder, let the tip clean if you are the last user. First of all, we will do a soldering between two wires. These ones can be connected by their headers, but now we will cut them so you can see how a basic soldering is done. Grab some scissors, and with the tiny hole that they have in the middle, we will peel the wire like this. We can also use a wire stripping tool. Just like that. During any soldering, fumes will be generated that we shouldn't inhale. We can use an extractor so it absorbs these gases. We intertwine the wires this way. And we proceed to the soldering. This has to be done with caution, slowly, adding a bit of tin and having careful so we don't burn anything. The mat that I am using in this video is not the adequate one. The adequate is this one, which is made of silicone. If we put the welder on it, doesn't get burnt, something that happens when we use the other. Right, this isn't complete. We will add a heat shrink tube that will protect and hide the soldering. This material shrinks when heated up. We can warm it using a lighter or using the soldering iron like this. We have ready our first welding between two wires. Now we will do the same but with three wires. A little trick is to add some tin on the bare wire. It's not mandatory, but sometimes can be handy. As today I don't have friends, I will use this support that I call the octopus, so it helps me to hold the wires to solder. And this is how a soldering of three wires will look like. We just need to add the shrinking tube so it hides and protects it. Job done. Let's solder something else. we have buttons, vibration coins, buzzers, and potentiometers. We will start with the button. This time we will take some wire. The colors that I have chosen here are the red and black in order to indicate the input and output of the electricity, and we will peel them as we know. Now we roll them around the pins of the button, this way. And carefully we will approach the welder from one side, warming up the pin. Meanwhile we add tin from the other side. Like that. For making the soldering more robust, I like to add some silicone glue. Here we have a tiny vibration coin. In this case we won't be able to use the stripping tool because it doesn't fit. Then we will take advantage of the scissors as we have just seen before. We could also use our nails or a cutter. Again, we cut it, we peel it, and turn it around. Once else, we will intertwine the wires and we will start with the welding. I would like to highlight the importance of adding tin to the tip. And well, here you can take a look. We will finish adding some silicone glue and we'll be ready. The next element is the buzzer. Same as before. We peel the wire and roll it a bit. In this case, we will use a piece of wood that we can use later as a button. This is not necessary, but is helpful for our soldering. It already has one previous welding. I add some glue just in case. Likewise, we cut wire, peel it, and intertwine it. And now, yes, we will put a resistor because this sensor can stay charged. Therefore, we will add the resistor in parallel that will discharge the sensor after disconnecting it. We can place it in the middle as if it was a bridge. Finally, we prepare the shrinking tube and hide the soldering. Here we have the potentiometer. It has 3 soldering pins, but we will use only 2 in this case. And as always, we cut wire, peel it, and intertwine it. Then we put them on the pot, and we will start the soldering. I will repeat the same advice. We heat up one side of the pin, and then we introduce the tin from the other side. I haven't commented yet how much time does the soldering needs for cooling or solidifying. Typically it's around 2, 3 or 4 seconds. If you don't give it this time and you move the wire, you might break the welding. We end adding some hot glue, and here they are. We are almost finished. I will show you how to solder a resistor to an LED leg and the LED strips that you might have at home. With some help or using a support, you can bring together both elements, the legs of the LED and the resistor, and with a little amount of tin you can solder them. Which sometimes is faster than using a wire. Regarding the LED strip, you will see that you can cut it wherever you want, for instance here. You will see 5 volts, the I data, BI backup that we want to use, and GND ground. We have the same on the other side as an output. In this case, we will use the yellow wire for the signal, the red one for the 5 volts, and the black one for the ground. These pads seem hard to solder because they are tiny, but nothing further from the truth because you can see how well the tin adapts to them. It is pretty easy indeed, and in this case we will solder just the end of the tip of the wire. As these pads are close to each other and I'm not sure about my welding, I will use a potentiometer in order to test for shortcuts. Once more, everything is great, everything correct. I will end it with some more hot glue, and that's all. Last but not least, we have the tiny pins. For example, from an Arduino Nano. This is not as hard as it seems. It has some holes that we can use for placing the pins. The key for soldering this type of pins is having patience, because they are quite small. We will add a bit of tin, and with a vertical movement, when touching the pin, we will drag the tip upwards. This way, we will remove the extra tin and we will avoid shortcuts. And here is the result. Lastly, we can solder this type of pin hubs. You can see that there are many different models for creating several outputs from the same signal. Soldering this type of elements is easy, but it needs too much tin. This is useful when you want to solder many grounds in the same point. I will teach you another technique, using some bare wire. And now we will do a zigzag shape for connecting the points that we want. We add tin, but less than before. Here you can see the difference. Alright, we have finished soldering, but this is not the end. We must clean the tip and let some tin for the next time. And watch out, when disconnecting the soldering iron, don't try to cool it down by yourself. Let it go until it reaches ambient temperature, and then we can save it in its proper suitcase. Finally, we store it in its proper locker, which in this case is the number 10. Thank you for watching and keep soldering. See you next time.